In the meantime, we're joined by international correspondent Afia Hagen for more on this. Afia, what can you tell us about the executive orders that have been signed so far? Pulling out of the WHO, I didn't see that coming.
The United States will be pulling out of the World Health Organization. They're actually one of the founding members. He said that China, with a population of 1.4 billion, has 300% population of the United States, yet contributes nearly 90% less to the WHO. And Trump saying that the WHO demands unfair payments from the United States. The death penalty was another one that you mentioned there as well. So the sweeping order of the death penalty basically makes sure that all states have enough drugs to be able to carry out the death penalty where necessary. He also said in the order that politicians and judges who oppose capital punishment had defied and subverted the laws of our country. And there's many other executive orders that were signed yesterday over the January 6th protesters, the January 6th rioters or hostages, as Trump called them. 1,500 of them are going to be pardoned and released. Now, initially we thought that those were going to be people who were convicted of non-violent crimes, and Trump had indicated on the campaign trail that that was so. But apparently it's all the January 6th rioters that have been released, and some of them were convicted of violent crimes and had quite long sentences. They've all been commuted. Illegal immigration, which is a big one. He's declared an emergency on the US-Mexico border. And also cancelled the right to for people who are born in the United States to get citizenship on free speech. Trump has restored freedom of speech for preventing censorship of speech, or so he says. And now Trump has signed another executive order on TikTok to keep it operating for another 75 days. He said he has a warm spot for TikTok now and is keen to have US ownership. Let's also remember that in 2020, one of his first executive orders was actually to ban TikTok. So that's quite a 360 on that. On gender and equality, we heard him say yesterday that there will only be two genders, and he said he wants to end wasteful government programs that promote diversity, equality and inclusion, and defend women from gender ideology extremism. He's withdrawing from the Paris climate change agreement as well, and designating drug cartels as terrorist organizations. Quite a raft of measures there.
And what has been the reaction to these executive orders?
Well, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, who's the head of the WHO, said on X that he regrets the announcement that the United States have made to withdraw from the organization, and he hopes that the United States will reconsider their position. Now, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said it's concerned that the US is pulling out of the Paris climate change agreement for a second time, and saying that his own country was proactively responding to global warming.
And what else can we expect from Trump and his new administration over the next few days?
Well, this is his first full day of his second term of his presidency. And you might remember from the campaign trail, Trump was insistent that he could end the war in the Ukraine in his first 24 hours in office. So we're yet to see that materialize. Volodymyr Zelensky just gave a speech at Davos where he encouraged, obviously, the end of the war and, basically encouraged strength within Europe. And he's kind of speaking to that strongman sort of feeling that President Trump has. So we'll see how that unfolds over the next few days. We could have a dump of secret documents at a rally on Sunday, Trump's victory rally. He said he wants to unseal documents to do with the killing of JFK in 1963 and the killing of Martin Luther King as well, and a crypto pile. So we could see Trump start stockpiling Bitcoin for the good of the American people, or so he says. And of course, back to immigration, we could have major immigration raids across cities across America this week. The government saying, or the US government saying, that they initially will be looking for illegal immigrants who are criminals, but saying other people could not be safe as well. So that's what we can expect over the next few days.
I mean, Afia, if there's one thing that's certain, and this last, and just this whole full day of, executive orders and reversal of, of executive orders by past administration, is this self-serving, or is this for the purpose or for the advancement of America? Your take.
And that's a good question. A lot of it seems to be the revenge politics that I knew was coming when Trump would begin this second presidency. A lot of it is about undoing what Joe Biden did, as well as fulfilling promises that he made on the campaign trail, particularly with things like immigration, the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Those are things that he said along the way that he would take action on. So I think we're seeing a combination of Trump, what he feels is going to bring around this golden age of America that he spoke about yesterday. And a lot of it is things that he probably wished he could have done in a second term after 2020, or that last term that was Joe Biden's that he feels should have been his. All the ideas that he had are playing out. And a lot of it is about undoing what Joe Biden does. And of course, maintaining this attitude of the strong man, of ruling with strength and ruling with power. And that's what we're seeing, this absolute power that Donald Trump has as the president, signing this raft of executive orders as opposed to proposing bills that can go through Congress and go through the Senate. But let's remember, he pretty much has Congress and the Senate sewn up because they both have a Republican majority anyway. So this is a lot about Donald Trump wielding that power and doing whatever he wants and whatever he can or feels he should do to bring about this golden age of America.
I mean, Afia, there's so much to unpack from last night and all the way to today, not to forget the sign from Elon Musk's on that stage that have now gone viral. People are asking, and now they're now switching it upside down. Afia, I got to tell you, it's going to be a long 4 years, myself and you doing this.
It is.